Produced and distributed by the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws in Washington, D.C. This is your daily audio stash, the growing truth about cannabis. Daily Audio Stash is where responsible marijuana smokers listen in on the latest news about cannabis, hear the voices of the marijuana law reform movement in special segments and interviews, and kick back with comedy and music no other podcast can offer. It's NORML's Daily Audio Stash. More information at normalaudiostash.com.
Hi, this is Willie Nelson from NORML. For 30 years, NORML has provided a voice for the millions of Americans who smoke marijuana responsibly. More than 500,000 Americans are arrested each year for smoking pot. These are ordinary citizens like you and me, whose lives and careers are being needlessly destroyed. To learn how you can help, contact NORML at www.norml.org or call toll-free at 888-67-NORML.
Welcome back to the Audio Stash. Today, I'm your host, Chris Goldstein. Take a moment to join us at NORML to end marijuana prohibition in America. Just visit NORML.org. Tomorrow in our Friday Audio Stash, we have an interview and some spectacular tracks direct from the underground with the Cottonmouth Kings. And in honor of that, we'll be giving away some NORML swag to our podcast listeners. So stay tuned tomorrow for the Cottonmouth Kings and a free stuff giveaway right here on NORML's Daily Audio Stash. And today we have a super kind, incredible stash of audio for you. First, let's check in with some of the organizers celebrating the success of marijuana deprioritization ordinances and initiatives, which passed around the country this Tuesday. Welcome to a NORML News Special Election Roundup. I'm Chris Goldstein. Take a moment to join us at NORML to end marijuana prohibition in America. Just visit norml.org. Yesterday, we had the chance to check in with some of the organizers who helped pass successful municipal initiatives. First, we'll speak with Nikki LaRosa from Santa Monica, California. Nikki, welcome back to NORML News today.
Thank you.
Nikki, tell us about the outcome of Measure Y in Santa Monica.
We won. We had a 65.26% yes.
Congratulations, Nikki, and such a high percentage of voters out there. This is a big showing for any candidate or issue in any election.
Absolutely. This is a situation where the people got to speak their mind, and we hope our elected representatives will follow suit and hear what we have to say. The drug war has failed.
And was the turnout good there in Santa Monica?
We had, the total votes were 23,503 on this issue. The registered voters were about 57,000. So I think it was good for us.
So, Nikki, with such resounding community support, it should be fairly easy to get Measure Y implemented there.
Yes. Our particular initiative has the police and city council implementing it. There's no oversight committee on ours. So we are entrusting this to the city council, and they will be responsible for the oversight and implementation of the measure, and they will work with the police to draw up a form, whatever form they desire, to report if and when the ordinance is broken.
Nikki, congratulations again, and thanks again for joining us today.
Thank you, Chris.
That was Nikki LaRosa of Sensible Santa Monica. More information from sensiblesantamonica.org. Next today, we'll hear from Kate Horner in Santa Cruz. Kate, welcome back to NORML News today.
Thank you. It's a very exciting day to be back.
And Kate, what was the final tally there for Measure K?
We won with a decisive 64% of the vote. We are just thrilled that the Santa Cruz voters have come out with such a clear message that our war on drugs has failed, and we can look at some more sensible approaches.
And Kate, what's the next step here for Measure K?
What we'll do is we're really planning on focusing on thanking all of our supporters, and then working with the City Council and the police to make sure that this gets implemented swiftly and correctly. And we'll really look to the people who have been so supportive in the past, and hopefully that they will step up into the role of that Community Oversight Committee. There hasn't been any organized opposition throughout the campaign, and I think that the City Council and the police and the rest of the community will really look to this clear majority for proceeding with that Oversight Committee and implementing this swiftly, as it's the clear majority of Santa Cruz voters believe that more sensible priorities can be enacted.
Kate, a very big congratulations, and have a wonderful day there in beautiful Santa Cruz.
Thank you so much for calling.
Kate Horner is campaign coordinator for Measure K in Santa Cruz. More information is available at sensiblesantacruz.org. Next in our California check-in is Laura Castle in Santa Barbara. She's the campaign coordinator for Measure P. Laura, welcome back to Normal News Today.
Thank you, Chris. It's a pleasure.
First and most important, how did Measure P fare in Santa Barbara?
Well, Measure P, as we expected, did fabulously. Santa Barbara voters approved Measure P by 65%, so we are very happy here today.
And was there a good turnout there in the city?
Oh, yes, it was. I mean, I think that overall this election year sparked a lot of interest in people nationwide, and same goes for Santa Barbara, so we had very good turnout.
Laura, national political analysts have mentioned that these types of ballot initiatives are a big part of bringing voters out to the polls in midterm years. So do you think that Measure P helped to bring people out and get out the vote?
I think I do. I think that Santa Barbaraans have certain, values in the community, and one of them is, obviously, I think it's a value that's shared across California, across the nation, is that, serious and violent crime is where we should be focusing our resources. It doesn't make any sense. It's not sensible to be arresting and jailing and prosecuting nonviolent marijuana offenders. It just doesn't make any sense. And so I think that the voters came out to, support a sensible measure.
And Laura, now that Measure P is passed, where does it go from here to get implemented?
Well, we're looking forward to working with the police and the City Council to implement this. Their participation was written into the measure. So there will be a citizen oversight committee with members appointed by the City Council that will work on implementation, similar to, what happened in other cities like Seattle and Oakland. So we look forward to getting the ball rolling on that.
Laura, thanks again for joining us today.
Thanks so much, Chris. Have a good one.
Laura Castle is campaign coordinator for Measure P. More information is available at sensiblesantabarbara.org. Now let's dash across the country to Montana, a state that was the focus of some other high-profile races, and in Missoula, voters were given the chance to make marijuana enforcement the lowest priority for city police. Joining us from Missoula, Montana is Angela Goodhope, campaign coordinator for Initiative 2 at Citizens for Responsible Crime Policy. Angela, welcome back to Normal News Today.
Hey, thanks for having me. Glad to be here.
So what was the vote tally on Initiative 2?
At the time that they were done, they still had about 1,500 left to count at the elections office, but we had 22,000, I think 56, and the opposition or those against it were at 19,048, I think.
Well, congratulations on a very solid win there, Angela, and was it a good turnout at the polls there?
Oh, yeah. If you would go to the internet and look up Missoula polling day, they had a line out the door. They actually had to call in armed deputies to keep people from cutting or trying to get into line to still vote, because we could still register the same day, and it was up until 8 o'clock that night. You could get in line to register to vote and then vote. That there were a lot of people in line to do that.
Well, it really seems like the same-day voting is a popular option there in Montana and a good indicator of how many more people would show up at the polls if there wasn't a 30-day pre-registration.
Not only is it a good indicator, but it's the way it really should be. You shouldn't have your vote count in a democracy just because you didn't make the deadline of 30 days to register to vote, especially not with technology these days, then, in my humble opinion.
And what kind of response has there been to the Initiative 2 win there in Missoula?
Yeah, people are really excited. My phone's been ringing off the hook. I've already contacted some of the people that were in the prevention folks in Missoula County here that kind of came out against the initiative. And I'm going to be meeting with them next week so we can talk about some of their participation in the Community Oversight Committee.
And Angela, how soon could this recommendation be worked into the law enforcement policy there?
Well, they have to have their first meeting within 100 days of passage of the initiative. Maybe sometime before February, we'll have our first meeting with the Oversight Committee, and then 7 months after this implementation of the initiative, they'll have their first report out.
Angela, thank you again for joining us today, and congratulations.
Hey, well, thanks for having us, and I think you do a great job, and I'm looking forward to hearing it.
Angela Goodhope is the campaign coordinator for Initiative 2 in Missoula, Montana, which passed Tuesday, garnering 53% of the vote. Visit our daily podcast website at normalaudiostash.com for direct MP3 links to all of our initiative interviews in election season. This has been a Normal News Special Election Roundup. I'm Chris Goldstein.
Hi, this is Keith Stropp, founder of the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, also known as NORML. When I founded the organization in 1970 to create a national discussion on the need to legalize marijuana for responsible adult use, no one honestly believed that 36 years later, marijuana would still be an illegal and untaxed commodity. However, since NORML began this important advocacy effort, 12 states have decriminalized the possession of marijuana, and 11 states have passed medical marijuana laws or voter initiatives, meaning that over one-third of the American population lives in a state or municipality that has reformed their marijuana laws. Isn't it time that Congress step in and pass national legislation to reform marijuana laws? Let's finish the job of legalizing marijuana once and for all by you and your like-minded friends joining and supporting NORML's long-standing advocacy. You can learn more about NORML's marijuana law reform efforts or become an active supporter by calling toll-free 888-67-NORML or by visiting www.normal.org.
Next up today, in honor of our election week, and while it was a mixed bag for marijuana law reform, it was very exciting to see the successful measures passed, in some cases by 64% of the vote. Democracy and our ideals of a federated republic can be seen really in action during these ballot initiatives, and more Americans than ever are coming out of their pot closets and standing up for our rights as American citizens and as marijuana consumers. The best way to have an impact is right in the voting booth, and this Tuesday during our election coverage, we use the next piece of music as background. But it's such a great version of our national anthem, I wanted to give it full play today. This was found at the Independent Online Distribution Alliance. Here's a couple of beautiful voices. This is Gel with the Star Spangled Banner. We have links to their album at normalaudiostash.com.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
A couple of beautiful voices found at the Independent Online Distribution Alliance. That was Gel with the Star Spangled Banner. We have links to their album at normalaudiostash.com. We have a very special Audio Stash interview for you today. Ann Dryan is the chairwoman of the NORML Foundation Board. Ann's writing is known across the world, and her latest work has been editing the spoken essays of her husband, Carl Sagan, into the new book, The Varieties of Scientific Experience. The book is out this week from Penguin Publishers. Ann has been a long-time member of NORML and an outspoken advocate for marijuana law reform. She joins us today from San Francisco, California, and it gives me great pleasure to welcome you today to NORML's Daily Audio Stash.
It's my pleasure, Chris. I'm really happy to be with you.
It's wonderful to speak with you, Ann. I saw you last on stage at the High Times Stony Awards in New York City. What's it like being out there as the chairwoman of NORML and interacting with this younger generation of marijuana smokers? The hip-hop scene very well represented a few weeks ago in New York City.
I know, and it was funny. I had some trepidation going out there, and I was thinking they were going to think, who is this woman? What is she doing here? But what was so cool was that when I said that I thought that getting high was a human right, I really felt that I connected with everybody, and that, you know, I just felt a tremendous amount of warmth, and people were like, yeah, it is a human right, and it really is a human right, and that's why I'm so proud of my multi-year connection to NORML, and the way that NORML fights for this human right and responsible use. And it's just a tremendous honor for me to be part of that.
And tell us how marijuana was introduced to you and what effects it might have had on your life and career.
I started smoking marijuana when I was 15. It was the 60s. And I have to say that I cannot think of a single problem that marijuana has ever caused me, except perhaps for misplacing my keys repeatedly. But, you know, apart from that, it has enhanced my life, my family life, my professional life, every aspect of my life. And for me, the fact that it's always been, you know, completely integrated into my life, and yet never in any way has there ever been an issue of, like, that it was addictive. There have been long periods in my life, and there still are, where I just simply don't smoke marijuana. And when I want to, I do. And I really believe that that's a right that everyone should have. I don't understand, especially in the case of medical marijuana, but not only in that case, why in a free country this should still be an issue 10, 20, 30 years later, after its efficacy in taking the worst suffering in cancer and AIDS and glaucoma and other diseases. The fact that it mitigates that suffering, that case has been made repeatedly, and yet here we are in 2006. It seems insane, still struggling to get that human right to use a plant which we have, as human beings, 10,000 or more years of very positive experience with.
We're speaking with Ann Dryan, the chairwoman of the NORML Foundation Board and editor of Carl Sagan's The Varieties of Scientific Experience. And I've always been struck with the powerful observational ability of you and Carl, and how you both take in the world around you. What's been your experience speaking with people about marijuana?
Well, I try to make it I'm very upfront about my relationship to NORML. I'm very proud of it. And all I can say is that in the 15 years or so that I've been working for NORML, I have yet to bring that up and receive a negative reaction. I mean, sometimes people are surprised because they see me in a scientific context, and they've been so brainwashed to think that only sort of amotivational people who never accomplish anything smoke marijuana. But what's so interesting to me is I've never heard anybody really be negative about it, and the vast majority of the time, people are wildly enthusiastic, and they're really like, they're kind of, surprised, but then they're like, oh yeah, and that's the thing, is that I feel that this whole country there's the use of marijuana is so much more widespread, and it's very much like the Victorians with human sexuality. It's like if you were to listen to the way people spoke in polite conversation in the Victorian period, you would think that no one was having any sex. But of course, it was obviously not the truth. And the same thing is true here: is that people are afraid for their jobs, they're afraid for their reputation, and so they feel they can't be honest about it. But my experience in other realms, for instance, in the scientific community, is that there is no lie that is helpful. In fact, lies are pernicious. Fear and secrecy eat up our souls. And there are a lot of people who aren't in a position to be as forthright about this as I am. But the more of us who are completely open about it, the more hope we have of getting a sane drug policy in this country. We haven't had one in way too long, and it's long overdue. And I'm 57, and I'm a part of a generation, I think, that doesn't want to die, leaving this mess that the states and the federal government have created for us. We really have to clean this up. But the other thing that I find in my travels is that everybody smokes or knows someone who smokes, but very few people join NORML. And I'd like to plead with you that if you've ever had a great experience on marijuana, if you've ever had a fantastic moment of listening to music in a way that took you places you never thought you'd go, or with food, or with family, or sexually, or any of those ways, you please join us. Please help NORML set this right, because it's not right for people, middle-class people like myself, to sit back and let poor people bear the brunt of this horrible policy and be victimized by this kind of lack of reason and cruelty.
And this has been a wonderful interview today. Thank you again for joining us.
Oh, Chris, it was my pleasure. I really hope we meet again.
As do I. Ann Dryan is the chairwoman of the NORML Foundation Board and the editor of Carl Sagan's newly released essays entitled The Varieties of Scientific Experience, A Personal View of the Search for God. We have links to the book at normalaudiostash.com.
755,000. That is a big number to be sure, but do you know what this number represents? It signifies the total number of citizens in America arrested on marijuana charges in 2004. That's right, 755,000 of your fellow citizens were arrested on marijuana charges. That's an arrest every 40 seconds, and 9 out of 10 of those arrested are for possession-only charges. Does continuing marijuana prohibition make sense to you? It certainly does not to the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws and its members. I'm NORML's Executive Director, Alan St. Pierre, and if you too think that it is high time to end marijuana prohibition and replace it with a tax and regulate policy, please join and support NORML's 36-year legislative efforts to reform our country's misguided marijuana laws. You can learn more about NORML or become an active supporter by calling toll-free 888-67-NORML, N-O-R-M-L, or by visiting us on the web at NORML, N-O-R-M-L.org.
Let's wrap up our audio stash today with a couple of tracks found at the wonderful service of podshow.com. First, we'll hear Scanlon with the Protest Song.
Potatoes, eggs in my yellow.
Now when you bury me and my friends for good, we shall return to show you misunderstood. We weren't trying to rouse you none, just having some of that good clean old fun. Well, I know it ain't easy being pushed to the ground. You've got to stand yourself up, shake it all down. You gotta walk with your head in the air. Out of life, I think that's only quite fair. Well, I know it ain't easy being pushed to the ground. You gotta stand up, shake yourself down. You got to walk with your head in the air. Out of life, I think that's only quite fair. Out of life, I think that's only quite fair. Out of life, I think that's only quite fair. Yeah. I see you laughing at the hole in my shoe. Well, people, I'll go one further than you. I got one in my elbow too. And let's not out of life, I got more than you. Out of life, I think that's only quite fair. Well, I know it ain't easy being pushed to the ground. You gotta stand up and shake down. You got to walk with your head in the air. Out of life, I think that's only quite fair. Out of life, I think that's only quite fair. Out of life, I think that's only quite fair. Yeah. Out of life, I think that's only quite fair. La 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 la. La 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 la.
That was Scanlon with the protest song found up at podshow.com. And next, finally rounding out our stash today, is one of my absolute favorite finds at podshow.com. This will be the second time we've played it in the stash. Here's a band called Stoat with the song I Wish I Was Stoned. That was the band Stoat with one of my favorite podshow.com finds, I Wish I Was Stoned. This has been NORML's Daily Audio Stash, the growing truth about cannabis. Thanks to podshow.com for all the great pod-safe music. We feature the band Carne Cruda as our theme. Make sure you visit our website at normalaudiostash.com. That's NORMLAUDIOSTASH.com for more information about every day's show. Thanks to Red Aphid Interactive Media for the podcasting technology. We're back at 4:20 tomorrow. If you listen to the Audio Stash, cast your vote at Podcast Alley or other podcast directory services. I'm your host, Chris Goldstein. Thanks for listening today. See you at 4:20 tomorrow. The podcasting technology of NORML is made possible by Red Aphid Interactive Media. More information at redaphid.com.